Good afternoon. This is Neeru from Center for Positivity, Wellbeing and Hope, and we welcome Dr. Liao. She will be presenting Positive Habit, Positive Life, and she is from College of Business and Technology. And we also welcome our NSU family who are here to attend this Positive Habits and Positive Life live Big Talk presentation. Welcome, Dr. Liao.
Thank you, Mrs. Neuro. Okay. So I'm very honored to have this opportunity to talk about the 7 habits of highly efficient people. So let me have a self-introduction first. So first, my name is a little bit hard to pronounce for students here, so it pronounced as Weiwen Liao. So I'm a doctor of management, a master of economics, and a bachelor of engineering. So I finished my higher education in China. So you can see from this map, you can see this is where I have been, and we are for work and for travel. So mainly it's in the east and west. So before joined NSU in 2015, actually, I had 12 years teaching and research experience in China and Canada. I was a former director in International Trade and Investment Research Center at the Central South University Business School. And I was a visiting scholar in the Faculty of Management in McGill University in Canada. So when Mrs. Neuro started the Center for Positivity, Wellbeing, and Hope, she asked us to contribute contents for the website. And in one of our talks, I told her that I thought that the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is a very good book in this area. So she asked me to have a big talk with the NSU community, and said, yes, because several years ago when I was still in graduate school, one of my professor actually talked for a whole class about the 7 habits. That was the first time I've heard of this book, I've heard of the 7 habits. I think that class greatly changed my vision and the paradigm of how I should live and work. So today I would like to share with you and hope you will enjoy the time today. So about the 7 habits, first I would like to have a very short poll. How many of you have ever read the book? So can you see the poll right now on your screen?
No, we cannot see the poll. Okay, let me see.
Okay, I can
Okay,
see
yes,
that.
we can see it. We can see it.
Okay, I can see that there are 25 people already finished the poll. So let's wait for several seconds until the poll will close.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, this is the result. I can see that 3 people out of 36 have read this book, and 24 said no, and there is 9 people didn't respond. So most of us today actually have not read this book. So this is made our talks more valuable, Mr. Muro, for this talk, to talk about the 7 habits. Now, if you have never heard of this, so today is a very good opportunity. So I hope this book and what we are talking about today can give you the possibility and I cannot say life-changing paradigm, but it will give you some deeper thoughts and values to think about the life and work. Okay, so back to the 7 habits. My slides here. So this is the original chart in Stephen Covey's book. So we can see that actually there are stages for our personal development. The first stage is the dependence. We depend on others, such like a baby, a kid, you always depend on others for your life and work. However, by developing habit 1, 2, and 3, we can successfully step into stage 1. That is, we can be independence, right? So we can be independence. But with the habit 5, 4, and 6, 4, 5, and 6, then we can achieve the interdependence. That means we have networks, we link to other people, we link to the society. Then this is a higher level of self-achievement. Also in business, if you can apply these 7 habits in your business, you can also achieve a high level of development. Habit 7 is sharpen the saw, so it will around all these 6 habits and give us a self-renewal. And also in business, I call this some feedback, some professional development, continuous training, and this will make us sustainability during the time. Okay. So I would like to link these 7 habits to functions of management of today's talks, because from the professor of management view, actually, I think this is a very meaningful for our student to think about the management of our life and business. So we know that there are 4 basic functions of management. That's planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. So when I look at these 7 habits, actually, these 7 habits are basic principles actually in all these 4 functions. So let me begin with habit 2, actually. So although Stephen Covey said in this book that habit 1, be proactive, is the basic principle of all these 7 habits, I would like to start with habit 2. That is, begin with the end in the mind. So as we can see that management, either for life or work, starts from planning. So from a management view, today I'd like to, I say, okay, habit 1. Habit 1, proactive, we'll talk about later. So let's have some music to start from habit 2. So I need to take off my headphone and play this music. So can you hear the music?
Yes.
All right. As the beginning of this talk, and as I talking about the begin with the end in mind, I would like to invite everyone here to participate in an exercise. Please sit comfortable and clear your mind of everything except the voice asking you to do. Don't worry about your midterm grades, your homework, your family, or your friends. Just focus on this exercise and really open your mind. In your mind's eye, see yourself going to the funeral of a loved one. Picture yourself driving to the funeral parlor or chapel, parking the car and getting out. As you walk inside the building, You notice the flowers, the soft organ music. You see the faces of friends and family you pass along the way. You feel the shared sorrow of losing, the joy of having known, that radiates from the hearts of people there. As you walk down to the front of the room and look inside the casket, you suddenly come face to face with yourself. This is your funeral. 3 years from today, all these people have come to honor you, to express feelings of love and appreciation for your life. As you take a seat and wait for the services to begin, you look at the program in your hand. There are to be 4 speakers. The first is from your family, immediate and also extended family. Children, brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces, aunts, uncles, cousins, and grandparents who come from all over the country to attend. The second speaker is one of your friends, someone who can give a sense of what you were as a person. The third speaker is from your work or profession. And the fourth is from your church or some community organization where you've been involved in service. Now think deeply. What would you like each of these speakers to say about you and your life? What kind of a husband, wife, father, or mother would their words to reflect? What kind of son or daughter or cousin? What kind of friend? What kind of working associate? What character would you like them to have seen in you? What contributions, what achievements would you want them to remember? Look carefully at the people around you. What difference would you like to have made in their lives? So write down any of your thoughts and impressions of this exercise.
Can you repeat that? Who we right now?
Yeah, you can write down any thoughts, impressions of this exercise. So you can keep it as your own, so you do not need to speak out. But this exercise, I hope this exercise touched you for a moment some of your deep fundamental values, just as it touched me when I was a graduate student. So you can even draw a picture of your life, for example, to visualize 3 years from now, 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, the most beautiful moments of life you desire. So this exercise actually wonderfully describes the habit to begin with the end in mind. Everything actually are created twice, mental and physical. If we do not have a plan, if we do not have a vision of our life or business, so it cannot be created or created well at last. So as we can see that management, I'm sorry. So in the Stephen Covey's book, to begin with an end in mind means to start with a clear understanding of your destination. It means to know where you are going so that you'd better understand where are you now, where you are now, and so that the steps you take are always in the right direction. So this is how important start from the end from the beginning means to us, because it will clearly give us understanding our destinations of the life and the business. And also it gives us a chance to create a mission statement of our life and the business. And this is actually the starting point of every management. So you can see that our personal mission statement will state our character, the character we want to be, so the contributions and the achievements we want to have, and these character and contributions and achievements all must be based on the values and the principles. So we must live a principle-centered life. So you can think about what you want to be, right? What you want to do, and what are the values and the principles upon which beings are doings are based. So a very good example is for Stephen Covey himself. So when Stephen Covey received his Harvard MBA, his brother asked him what he wanted to do with the rest of his life. And Stephen said, I want to release human potential. Then he realized people spend too much time blaming others and making excuses, and many people lack a strong sense of personal vision for their unique contributions in life, or they do not have the discipline to manage their time effectively. The other constraints include a lack of concern, an unwillingness to listen, or an inability to work cooperatively with others. And this made Stephen to write the book of 7 Habits of Highly Efficient People. And this is a great contribution. So in management, when I talk about the management, about the planning, so for example, in my management 3580 class, this is the organizational planning, the hierarchy of organizational planning. So we always start from a mission statement. This is your vision. This is how your business will survive and prosper in the market, and why your business can survive in the market. Then to achieve this mission, so you must form the organizational goals. And under the organizational goals is your organizational strategies about how to achieve these goals. And you will also have functional goals in every sector of your organization, such as finance, marketing, operations, the functional goals to achieve the strategy, right? And under those finance strategies, functional goals, you will have tactics. That is your day-to-day, how to do, your day-to-day actions. So all this comes together actually is to fulfill your mission. So this is organizational planning. So we also need to begin with an end in mind, our mission. So it's not very easy to always keep a thought in mind and always follow it, especially when we have desire to do things, we know what to do. This is a knowledge, and we still need skills. That's how to do. So knowledge, skill, and desire, all 3 things together will form a habit. But between the habit and the thought, there's still something. So you know that you have a thought, but a habit is something else. It's a distance from your thought. This is your action. So you need to take actions to organize. That's the next step to management our life and the business. So put first things first is one habit in Stephen Covey's book. That is the principle to organize and execute around the priorities. So especially, I would like to let you see the time management, the four quadrants in this book. That is how we can put first things first, based on the dimensions of urgent versus important. So this is the four quadrant of time management. So we can classify our things, our doings into these three quadrants. So you can see that the quadrant one here is for activities like important and urgent. It's a crisis, right? It's a present problems and some deadlines driven, such as if you do not submit your assignment today, you will lose points in your class, right? Or if you do not solve this problem today and then tomorrow you will be fired. This is crisis. So something important and urgent, this is in the quadrant one. So it gives us a stress, it put us in the fire, let us burn out. And we need crisis management always, these things. We know that somebody or some people are always in this quadrant because they are crisis managers. Now look at the quadrant two. Those activities important but not urgent. So it includes those activities, for example, prevention, capability improvement, you build relationships, you recognize new opportunities for your planning, for your creative work. So what is the result? It gives us a vision, it keeps us in balance and discipline, and it gives us self-control and control the situation, and it brings a few crises to us, life and management. Now, quadrant three, you can see that not important but urgent, such as ringing phones right now. You need to receive the phone. It's ringing, right? So it's some interruptions, some callers, some emails, some reports. They are not important, but it's urgent. Some meetings, some pressing matters, and some popular activities you would like to do right now to get some happiness and pleasant. And the quadrant four, you can see, not important and not urgent. So it includes some trivial, busier activities, some email you do not really need to reply them at the current moment, or maybe even in 3 days you do not even need to reply them. And your personal social media, sometimes some phone calls, time wasters, and some pleasant activities, just killing your time. So the result of, if you stay in quadrant four, you can see that you will become totally irresponsible, be fired from your jobs, and dependent on others or institutions for basics. You waste your time and you waste your life. So what we need to do for time management to manage ourselves? So most of us actually are not focused on things every day to spend most of the time in quadrant two, important but not urgent. This is some activities to build our vision, to give us a good balance, discipline, control, and to bring few crises to us. Us actually spend most of our time in other area, in other quadrant, 1, 3, or 4, right? So you need to make your every effort and work the best to upgrade yourself from quadrant 3 and 4, at least you must do something important. And at the best, go from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2. Now, from now on, if you can classify your activities, classify those doings, not just list them in your notes and the to-do list, you must set up priorities. What kind of activities or what kind of tasks you must finish today because they are important but not urgent. It's for the long-term benefit or advantages of yourself and of your business. So the long-term organizing actually, as we mentioned before, in the begin with the end in mind, start with we clearly understand our mission, and then we recognize our roles in life, and we can build up goals, long-term goals, to achieve our goals. So as Stephen Covey suggested in his book, so routinely in the day-to-day based planning actually will make us forget of the priorities and only use a to-do list to cross out every activity, but forget our priorities. So he would like to suggest us to have weekly organizing. So from our mission statement to recognize our roles and then set up our goals, and we can use scheduling and delegation to achieve our goals. And they even recognize a very good tool, something like a weekly planner. So you can see it here. So the weekly planner. So we recognize our roles, such as we are a mother, a manager, and we have different roles in the society, such as we are a board member in some communities, we are organizer in the church activities. So we have different roles here, and for under each role, we have our goals. We can set up our goals for this week, and then we can write down our weekly priorities and give them an order. So what we should be done first. And after we have assigned all these activities and goals into our weekly schedule to make some appointments here, we can still find so many spaces actually left. So in most cases, to fulfill our mission. So this is a weekly planner, so suggested in Stephen Covey's book. And you can also find a lot of templates actually based on the weekly organizer in this book. In the market, you can find. So in business, so when I talk about the management, we have a lot of management methods and approaches based on the principle to set up our priorities to make smart decisions. So let me just mention some of them. So let's see. So one principle or one rule in management is a Pareto phenomenon. We also call it a 20-80 rule. So let's see. So the 20-80 rule means there are only a few factors that will make a large impact on the result. For example, 20% of your customers will account for 80% of your revenue or your revenue of your profit. And if you are a manager of inventory, so a warehouse, you will find that maybe you have thousands of components and parts in the warehouse. And if you would like to reduce the holding cost of the inventory and would like to reduce some inventory level of some parts and components, you need to choose. So what kind of components and parts are most important in the holding cost? So we also apply the 20-80 rule in this approach. We call this ABC approach. That is, we always classify the components according to their numbers in the inventory and according to the value to the total holding cost. And we'll see that those A items is very important to control the cost, inventory cost, because they are only 10 to 20% of the number of items in the inventory, but they are about 60 to 70% of the annual dollar value. So we need to put a focus and control the most on those A items. Another example is our QFD method in quality management or even in designing the new products and services. So we call this QFD, quality function deployment. So this is what we call the house of quality. We would like to see how to build a linkage from the knowledge we know from our customer and from some things we can control in the production, the manufacturing, or in the other operations we can control to satisfy their demand. For example, we are actually we are producing paper products. The customer's requirements here are 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 4 requirements. And the importance to the customer, so the rate, the importance here, and these are technical requirements here we can control. So through the quality function deployment, the house of quality, we can actually figure out so what kind of technical requirements are the most to us in the quality management and in the designing process when we need to design our paper products. So you can see that the importance weighting here, there are 2 factors, 2 technical requirements here scored the most, and they are the most important technical requirements to us in operations. So the third example here is the factor rating. So we frequently use this in all decision makings because we need to weight each factor that will put an impact in our decisions and assign weights to them. So for example, where is your target market? You may think about 5 to 10 or maybe 20 potential target market there, but we know that from the past analysis, so we have political, economic, social, technological, so environmental, legal, those 6 factors actually are the main factors to influence our decision for us to investigate the international business environment. Therefore, let's see. Let me see how to go to the, I need to stop the annotation and then go to my next slide. Okay.
Can you go back?
Yes, but it's kind of like I need to stop the, I need to stop the annotate right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, let's see how to stop it. Okay, close it. Okay, that's it. Okay. So this is a factor rating example. So we have 6 main factors and there are several sub-factors under each area. And for each factors, we need to assign weights according to their importance for us to make the decision. So this is my student assignment. So at last, they need to figure out the total ratings from each factor for each country. Then the country usually with the most ratings, the highest ratings, will become their target market. So this is how in management we set up our principles and have a clear understanding of our priorities, and then we can make smart decisions. I hope you can apply some of these methods in your life and business. Now, the next one is habit one, be proactive. As I actually mentioned before at the early part of this talk, be proactive, as Stephen mentioned, it's the base for all other habits. So, but what is be proactive? So when you look at this word, when you hear this word, proactive, what is the opposite side of this word? So anybody knows? What is your impression? So you can, if you would like to give me an opposite side of proactive, what's that? Yeah, so you can unmute yourself. Reactive, Kurt. Thank you. Reactive, right? Reactive. So be proactive. Be proactive is the opposite side of reactive. So you reactive to what? To your situations, to the conditions, right? To conditions, to the situations. So what we can do to be proactive. So I really like the sentence in this book by Stephen Covey is, between stimulus and response, man has a freedom to choose. Man has a freedom to choose. We are not animals. You know that if you train your dog to jump high, you can hold the reward, some food, to make your dog jump high. And every time if your dog achieve the goal, you give it the food, and then next time he will know that this is a response, stimulus and response. However, we human beings has the freedom to choose. It's about that somebody want to make you angry and you become angry. You actually can choose not to be angry. Somebody want to make you busy, but you still have the freedom to just follow your own schedule. So you have the ultimate freedom to choose. Okay. So one example, as a professor, I always encounter in this situation is that, we have students coming to us and maybe after the midterm and talking about why they missed assignments, especially why they missed so many assignments, right? So now some will talk about that. I have family to take care of. I was sick. I have a job. I have too much work to do. So I lag behind my class. So I missed the deadline. So I missed the assignment right now. So I would like to have an extension. So case by case, your professor may give you extension or may not approve, but I would like to remind you to look at such kind of situations from the another aspect, from the be proactive aspect, right? So it is actually you choose to put your work ahead of your classwork. It is you choose to put other things ahead of the learning. So the result is you missed your assignment. You missed something in learning. It's your own choice, right? So next time, can you choose to put your assignments ahead of other things? If you cannot, you need to take your responsibility to accept the result you missed. Or you need to think about other ways to have a better management. So I see, I think I have a question from Jason. Jason, would you like to speak? Okay, it's excellent. So if you, any of you have any questions, you can raise your hand during our talks, and then or we can review all your questions in the chat box. At the end of this session, we will have a Q&A. Okay, So about the be proactive, that is, you can implement this ultimate freedom of our human beings. Choose to react, right? Choose what is your response. And from my personal experience, so I would like to tell you, I once had a very hard time, very tough time to balance between the newborn, my PhD dissertation, and my full-time job as a professor. So every day I was so stressed to just want to do everything well, but I cannot. The newborn crying, and I have PhD dissertation to finish, and I also need to teach and do research in my school. And every day I need to wake up very early, maybe just to sleep 2 or 3 hours every day, just to balance everything. And actually, I cannot had a balance at that time. So this was a time when my big boy right now, big boy was born. So about maybe in a period of 6 to 7 months, I was so stressful. But one day when I think about the courses and the class, my professor told me about the 7 habits. I told myself, stop all the complaints. Stop thinking all the bad things. So how about just accept the current reality and find ways out? So yes, I couldn't have a full night's sleep anymore. Then this is the reality. I must accept it and find other ways to rest, to have good rest. The newborn, the baby is crying, and I need to care for him. So the good thing is that when I took care of the baby, I will forgot other stressful things from my work and dissertation. Then one day when I thought about this, I changed my mind to handle those stress. And you know that things are much better. Things become much, much better for my life. So also in controlling, the function of controlling in management, the habit 7 is about sharpen the sword. So it's about renewal. We get renewals in the 4 aspects of ourselves. In physical, we need to achieve physical health through exercise, good nutrition, stress management. We can have mental health through reading, visualizing, planning, writing. Anyway, do some good things for your own. And we can achieve spiritual healthy through those value clarification things, study and medication. And we also need keep ourselves social and emotional healthy through service, empathy, synergy, and so other good things. Anyway, you need to treasure the greatest asset of yourself. That's you. You yourself is the greatest asset of yourself. So sharpen the soul always. And the habit 7 is around all other 6 habits. So about in the area of leading, now the functional area of management. So leading, we talk about a lot about leadership, but have you ever thought about, is there any difference between leader and manager? Are they the same? Yeah, so Jason said no. No, they are not the same. Yes, you said no. Leader and manager, they are not the same. So would you like to share your comments why they are different? A leader fosters a sense of the community. Okay. Taylor, thank you so much. Because a leader would lead the manager. Very good point. Let's see. A leader will lead the manager. So why a leader can lead a manager because the responsibilities of a leader, including the vision, a good vision, and the right direction, right? It's about, the difference is about do right things and do things right. And as a leader, the most important thing for you is first you need to do right things and decide what kind of things are right. So as Stephen Covey in this book, it says, for example, a group of people are making their ways out of a jungle. They need to make their ways. They're lost in the jungle and they need to make their ways out of the jungle. They need to cut down the trees, trim the bushes, and make their way out. Then you can see that the leader is the one who climbs the tallest tree, surveys the entire situation, and yells, "Run, jungle!" But the busy, efficient producers and the managers often respond, "Shut up, we are making progress." Now think about the difference. If you're a good leader, if you have great leadership, your managers will make their ways to do things right. That is, efficiently and effectively. Success is a result of knowledge, skill, desire, hard working. But after sum up all these variables to success, we need to multiply by another variable, that is direction. If your direction is right, you have a correct direction, you put a positive sign in front of your formula to success, then all your hard working will go directly toward the goals you want to achieve. If your direction is wrong, a negative sign in the formula, then however you work hard, you will only be further and further from the goals, from the success. So therefore, great leadership is the positive sign in the formula of success. So we have other principles such as habit 4. It's think win-win. Think win-win. We must find mutual benefits where we are cooperating with others. And we also have habit 5, seek first to understand and then to be understood. That is an effective communication. So interpersonal relationship and also in business and management. And we have a habit 6, synergize. That is a 1 plus 1 is greater than 2 effect. And also in management, we call this a systems perspective. So these are all the principles and the habits we can build in leadership and in function of the leading in management. So to wrap up today's work, today's talk, I would like to show another sentence from the book. That is, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. So let's start today. Sow a thought, build positive habits, and change the life and the destiny. Thank you so much. The next, I will transfer the talk to Mrs. Nero.
Thank you so much. It was a very good presentation, and there are so many good comments. This is a great information some student wrote, such a great wisdom. So thank you so much for presenting. Student, this is your time to ask question. So you can type it or you can switch on your mic and ask question. Yes, many comments are coming. Great presentation. The information, thank you for the information. Anybody has any question? I think nobody is typing the question.
Yeah, I'm checking the chat box. Chat box. No question aroused yet. Um,
Okay, so
so
let
feel
me
free to ask us.
yes. Uh, what last piece of advice you would like to give it to the audience? I personally read this book many year ago, and I think this is a wonderful book. Everybody must read this book or listen. There is a audio book online free, so must listen to that audio book. So what is your piece of last advice after your presentation?
This is a good question.
Mhm.
Um, let's see.
What's
My last advice would like to take action today. Take action. If you do not ever practice, begin from the end to the beginning, you need to find the exercise in our today's talk and find the time, listen to the exercise guidelines to think clearly about your destination of your life. I once sketched a picture of my life when I was still in when I was in several years ago. I sketched my life, the moment I like the best. So I can say that my life was not exactly the same at the age as I sketched, but I achieved that. It's not too late. It's not too late. The goals I set up several years ago, um, I finally achieved. So it's not too late. Maybe 5 years late, 3 years late. That doesn't matter. But you need to take action. You need to take action. So every day, if you make a small step, so we in management we call this kanzan, continuous improvement. Every day, if you can make small improvement, then at last it will change greatly. So if you're interested in management in Kanzai, so next time take my class.
okay?
Thank you.
We have one question, one advice from Dr. Paul. My advice to student is ask your professor how you can proactive in their class instead of reactive. Very good advice. And then question we have it for Lialan. Is there an end goal in mind? How did you manage your stress to get to the end? If you use stress management, how do you not use up so much time that it takes away from your endures?
Yeah, I think Mrs. Neuro should be more professional to talk about the stress management.
Okay.
I'm talking about the 7 habits actually from management area, but how to effectively manage the stress. So, Mrs. Neuro, that's your professionalism.
Yes. I can just advise sometime when we are saying stress management, we are actually gaining more time in us because sometimes we are wasting so much time. So, or we are thinking about so many things that is giving us stress. So I teach yoga class. I do workshop, stress management workshop as well. So that help. I think I am juggling like 7 or 10 things right now without any stress because when you are doing this stress management workshop, you learn the cues. Like in this presentation, you learn the 7 habits that can make you very good, right? So in stress management, you will learn how to handle your stress. So you will have more time to manage everything. So it will not take away time. It will actually give you extra time to do lot of work. Another question we have it. I think I answer your question, Leanne. Do you have further question? We have another question. What was habit 2 again? I didn't catch it due to technical difficulty.
So in this book, habit 2 was to begin with an end in mind. So
Mhm.
we talk a habit 2 first, actually, right? Yeah.
That's right. Any other question? So can you change next slide, please? Mm. So, students, if you, by chance, if you remember some question, and student who will be listening, we are recording this conversation, and if you are listening this conversation and you have question, so make sure to send it to positivity@nsula.edu, and on subject line make sure to write Dr. Leon email name, so we can forward that question to her. If you haven't yet check the Center for Positivity website, so make sure to do that too, because it has lot of good information. Website is www.nsula.edu positivity. So it is must to goal, it is from for student. We are working together with student to put information that can help and change their life. Next slide please. So for me, I always close with my thoughts. I always say that positive life is not just happen by chance. Okay, positive life built by developing small positive habits. Even getting up in the morning on time, making your bed, it is a small habit but has a big impact. Even going to classes on time rather than going to 10 minutes late, so small habit. Eating breakfast before going to class, having your lunch time, having your dinner time, these are the positive habits. So positive life always we can build it by developing small positive habits. Thank you. I would like to say thank you to Dr. Leo for
You're welcome.
your presentation, your wisdom, and student really loving it. And I see lot of comment, and I will send you the comments. Thank you so much for
Thank you
your
for
time.
hosting this event. Yeah, thank you.
And
Thank you
again,
for coming.
student, if you have any question, make sure to change your slide. Make sure to positivity at nsula.edu. And last slide is I would like to say thank you. Last slide. I would like to say thank you to Dr. Leo, and also I would like to thank you to all the participants for coming, spending time with us, and go for Kadib. Have a
Yeah.
good day.
Have a good day. Thanks, everyone.